There are 4 simple choices you can make as a solo business owner to focus on high impact work, grow faster with less input, and avoid burnout in the process. If you're not getting the income you want right now, or if you're overwhelmed by the volume of work and your business stagnates in any way, chances are you're getting some of these 4 choices wrong. I struggled with this for years, like many people do. And even as founder and CEO, I had to relearn this in the business context. But once I did, I figured out the exact system that lets me focus on the high impact work to grow the business with fewer resources and avoid burnout, simply by getting 4 choices right. And there's even a 5th secret choice most people don't know about, and I'll tell you all about it at the end of this video. So keep watching. But for now, let's get into the 4 choices we have every single day. Do more of something. Do less of something, start doing something, or stop doing something. Fact is, every action you take in your business is based on one of these 4 choices. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're constantly deciding to do more of something, to do less of something, start something new, or stop doing something. The danger is when these decisions happen on autopilot, like when you answer a bunch of low-value emails, you're implicitly deciding to do more admin work. When you delay your marketing campaign, you're deciding not to start generating leads. In my years running an IT department and now as CEO, I realized burnout doesn't come from the volume of work, it comes from the inefficiency of the work. It comes from technical debt we carry around in form of outdated processes or bad habits that just slow us down. And this is where the first choice comes in. Do more of something. Unfortunately, most people get this wrong from the start. Doing more doesn't mean extending your workday from 10 to 14 hours or using the newest productivity hacks to cram more tasks into less time. No, doing more of something is about identifying specific activities that are already working and cranking up your efforts here. We need to look at this with the Pareto or Pareto principle in mind. You know, the 80-20 rule. Right now, roughly 20% of your activities are generating 80% of your success. The other 80% of work are still necessary, but they're low value in comparison. With that in mind, the question becomes, how do you identify what to do more of? Well, look at your last 5 clients. Where did they come from? From random social media platforms or a targeted email campaign? Or did they come from one specific referral partner you spoke to? Did your revenue come from customizing your service, or did it come from standardized packages like selling an online course? Once you identify the winner, the logic is simple. Do more of that. If you have a specific offer that converts at 20% while everything else converts only at 2%, stop trying to bump up the 2% offer. Take your energy and double down on the winner. And this applies to clients as well. If you have a client profile that pays you on time, respects your boundaries, and actually implements your advice, you need to do more to acquire that specific type of person. Now, here's the dangerous thing about this. It looks really boring. Especially if you're the creative type, doing more can quickly turn into a trap because you find something that works and instead of scaling that, you go and focus on the next shiny idea. But boring is often profitable. Do more means taking what works and scaling it until you hit a ceiling. One thing you can do right now is to like this video and subscribe. I'll be posting videos every week sharing what I've learned over the last few years as IT department head and also as a solo business owner. I'm trying to grow this channel to support more people who want to take their ideas from scratch to profit. So please help me do that by liking the video and subscribing. I appreciate that. Now let's talk about the second choice. Do less of something. This one is distinct from stop doing something, which we'll discuss later. Doing less is about the necessary tasks that must be done to keep the lights on, but don't drive growth, while at the same time reducing the friction required to complete them. Think about this in terms of admin work. Invoicing, scheduling, checking emails, they're all necessary tasks, but they're rarely the ones driving business growth. So let's say you spend 5 hours a week going back and forth on email just to find a time to meet with clients. That's 20 hours a month or half a week lost to playing calendar Tetris. You need to do less of that. The question is how. Of course, you don't stop scheduling meetings, but you can significantly compress the effort by using a scheduling tool like Calendly, for example. Or let's say your work requires you to be creative. You need to protect your time from admin stuff by scheduling deep work clusters or maintenance windows that you can use specifically for admin work. If you want to learn more about those calendar blocks, you should watch the video that I link up here. It explains how to use them appropriately. And here's another example. Consider your service delivery. If you're customizing every single proposal from scratch, you're doing too much. Before you know it, you're managing 10 different projects with 10 different scopes. Doing less means templating, it means standardizing, and it means creating constraints within your business. This is thinking in systems. If a task currently takes you an hour, ask yourself, how can I do this in 10 minutes? Or if client meetings run 60 minutes but only 15 minutes are valuable, you need to find ways to cut the meeting to 20. The goal is to reduce friction within the workflows. Do less of the low leverage tasks so you have the time and the capacity to do more of the high leverage work. Which brings us to choice number 3, start doing something. So this is where most entrepreneurs get super excited. We love to start new things, new projects, new software, new marketing channels, right? But starting a new high impact task is really hard if your schedule is clogged with the low impact noise. So once you've made the choice to do less of the busy work, then you create the space you need to start something new that can actually compound. Start doing something is about adding new leverage to your system. What are the things you know you should be doing but you've been putting off? Maybe it's tracking your financials. If you don't know your profit margin, well, you're flying blind. So you need to somehow track your finances. Or maybe it's building a content asset like an online course. You know that building a personal brand brings in the leads, but you haven't started because you're stuck somewhere. Or maybe it's automation with AI. You need to start building the systems that will eventually replace you as the key operator inside a workflow. The criteria for starting something is actually quite simple. Does the activity build equity? Does it make tomorrow easier than today? So answering a single email fixes a problem today, but building an automated onboarding sequence fixes the problem forever. That's the difference here. So think about this. What's one single thing you know you need to start doing this week that actually moves the needle in the right direction? Not check emails with a new email app, but real work. Let me know in the comments below because I'm curious to see what you're prioritizing. And now choice number 4. And this is often the most difficult one emotionally. Stop doing something. It's not the same as doing less. This is about stopping entirely. It's about looking at the parts of your business that are dead weight and shutting them down. You know, all the legacy systems that are no longer tech supported, they need to go. So you need to look at your services, for instance. Are you offering something just because you offered that for 3 years? If the margin isn't there or the headache is just too strong, you need to stop that. You need to look at your client list. Well, we all have these people who text on weekends, question every invoice and drain our energy, right? These people aren't paying you enough to ruin your mental health. You need to stop working with them. And this brings us to the sunk cost fallacy in a way. It's easy to hold on to legacy processes or bad clients because you've already invested time and resources in them. But keeping them is accumulating more technical debt. Same goes for the doom scrolling. Stop that. Stop going to networking events where people just hand out business cards. Stop hustling without a plan and definitely stop using unnecessary software subscriptions. Every time you say yes to something mediocre, you're automatically saying no to something great. You have a limited amount of decision-making energy or capacity every single day. If you spend it on things that should be stopped, you have nothing left for the things that need to be started. So there you go. The 4 choices you need to make to focus on high-impact work, grow faster with fewer resources, and avoid burnout in the process. But I also promised you that 5th secret choice, the secret ingredient that keeps the machine running really, and it's continue doing something. In a world of growth hacking, efficiency, and relentless improvement, nobody talks about stability anymore, but stability is an asset. Chances are you're doing things in your business right now that are working just fine. They don't need to be scaled by doing more. They don't need to be fixed by doing less. They're already started and they don't need to be stopped. They just need to be maintained or continued. If you have a workout routine that keeps your energy high, for example, continue doing that. If you have a weekly review process that keeps you sane, continue doing that. The goal isn't to change everything all the time. The goal is to build a machine that runs predictably. Continue doing something is the choice that prevents chaos. It's about recognizing what's already working and protecting that from your urge to mess with it unnecessarily. So here's your practical application of the 4+1 choices really. Draw 4 quadrants on a piece of paper with a circle in the middle. Start, stop, more, less, and continue. Look at your calendar from last week and sort your activities into these boxes. And then on Monday morning, improve on just one item from each of these categories, except the continue box. And that's how you stop being the operator in your business and you turn into the owner of your business. And of course, watch the next video here that YouTube is suggesting to you. And I see you there.